In 1950, the United States government sprayed an entire city with bacteria. The citizens had no idea. And when one man died, they didn't stop. For decades, the CIA dosed unwitting Americans with LSD. The Public Health Service watched black men die from untreated syphilis for 40 years. Pregnant women were given radioactive iron. They were told it was vitamins. From mind control to human radiation. These are 5 government experiments they tried to bury. What you're about to hear isn't conspiracy theory. These experiments were real, documented in declassified files released decades after the damage was done. The question isn't whether they happened. The question is, what else are they hiding? September 20th, 1950, San Francisco, a U.S. Navy ship positioned off the coast. For 6 days, they released clouds of bacteria over the city. 800,000 people were exposed. None of them knew. The bacteria, Serratia marcescens and Bacillus globigii. The Army said they were harmless, chosen because they had never been shown to be harmful to people. But this wasn't a safety test, it was a vulnerability assessment. The military positioned monitoring equipment at 43 locations across the city. They wanted to know, could an enemy attack succeed? The answer was yes. Every resident inhaled at least 5,000 bacterial particles, enough to match the dosage required for anthrax. Within weeks, something unexpected happened. Stanford University Hospital reported a rare outbreak. 11 patients infected with Serratia marcescens. One of them was Edward Nevin, a routine patient. He developed a urinary tract infection that spread to his bloodstream. He died. His family sued. They claimed the Army experiment killed him. The government denied responsibility. The case was dismissed. But hey, race, what they didn't tell you. This wasn't the only test. For the next 20 years, the military conducted 239 similar experiments across the United States. San Francisco in 1950, New York City in 1966, Key West, Panama City, Fort McClellan. City officials were told it was a smoke screening test to prevent aerial observation. They called it Operation Smokescreen. But spraying bacteria was just the beginning. 1953. The CIA launched a program codenamed MKUltra. Goal: mind control. For 20 years, the CIA dosed unwitting subjects with LSD. They used electroshock, sensory deprivation, verbal and sexual abuse. The program operated through 80 institutions, 44 universities, 15 research foundations, 12 hospitals, 3 prisons. Most didn't know they were working for the CIA. The agency used front organizations to hide its involvement. Prestigious researchers, thinking they were advancing science, were unknowingly part of a mind control program. 149 subprojects, 185 researchers, thousands of subjects. At least one death. Dr. Frank Olson, 1953, dosed with LSD without his knowledge. A week later, he fell from a hotel window in New York City. The CIA called it suicide. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MKUltra files destroyed. Most were. In 1975, congressional investigators found nothing. The CIA said the records didn't exist. Then, in 1977, one man filed a Freedom of Information request. An archivist searched where no one had looked before. He found 7 boxes. Financial records, receipts, invoices. They'd been misfiled, escaped destruction. These documents revealed the true scope of MKUltra. Senator Kennedy called it a program that drugged American citizens without their knowledge or consent. The CIA's own Inspector General had warned in 1963, the concepts involved are found by many to be distasteful and unethical. They continued anyway for another decade. If understanding how governments operate in secrecy interests you, the Great Courses Plus has incredible courses on the history of intelligence agencies and classified operations. I've left a link in the description for a free trial. Mind control wasn't the only secret. 1932, Alabama. The U.S. Public Health Service recruited 600 black men. They were told they were receiving free health care. They weren't. 399 had syphilis, 201 did not. The doctors never told them their diagnosis, instead they watched. They wanted to study the natural progression of untreated syphilis. In 1947, penicillin became the standard cure for syphilis. The men in the study were never given it. They were told they had bad blood. They were given aspirin, useless mercury salve, and painful spinal taps. A 10-inch needle inserted into the spine. No painkillers. The doctors called it treatment. It was data collection. Local physicians were instructed to turn the men away if they sought real treatment. During World War II, they were exempted from the draft because the military would have treated them. The goal was to keep them sick until they died. In 1933, Dr. Vonderler wrote in a confidential letter, "We have no further interest in these patients until they die." For 40 years, they were studied, untreated, dying. By the time a whistleblower exposed the study in 1972, only 74 test subjects were still alive. 28 men died directly from syphilis, 100 died from complications, 40 wives were infected, 19 children were born with congenital syphilis. In 1997, President Clinton formally apologized. He said,
"Men who were poor and African American, without resources and with few alternatives, they believed they had found hope when they were offered free medical care by the United States Public Health Service. They were betrayed."
Tuskegee Institute was just the location. The U.S. government ran it. Between 1944 and 1974, the U.S. government conducted radiation experiments on its own citizens. Plutonium injections, full-body radiation exposure, radioactive material in food. Hospitals told patients they were receiving treatment. They were test subjects. 18 people were injected with plutonium, 6 with uranium, 5 with polonium. Most were terminally ill. Some were children. One was a 4-year-old boy. At Vanderbilt University, 829 pregnant women were given radioactive iron. They were told it was vitamins. The military needed data. They needed to know how plutonium moved through the human body, how much radiation workers could tolerate. Patients were selected with one criterion: life expectancy less than 10 years. That way, if they developed cancer, they'd be dead before anyone could prove it was the radiation. 1954, San Francisco. The CIA rented an apartment on Telegraph Hill, they hired prostitutes, they installed two-way mirrors, and they waited. The prostitutes would lure men to the apartment, slip LSD into their drinks, and agents would watch. Behind the mirrors, recording everything. This was a CIA experiment run by Sidney Gottlieb. The goal? Turn LSD into a truth serum for interrogations. For 12 years, they dosed unwitting citizens. 30 to 40 tests in San Francisco alone, hundreds more in New York. Nobody knew, nobody consented. The experiment failed. LSD didn't work as a truth serum. It made people confused, erratic, unpredictable, but it didn't make them tell the truth. Years later, George White, the agent who ran the safe houses, wrote a letter. He described his work as fun, fun, fun. He wrote, "Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, cheat, steal, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of the All-Highest? 5 experiments, thousands of victims, decades of secrecy, all of it documented, all of it hidden. These files were only declassified because of lawsuits, investigations, and whistleblowers." Which raises the question, what experiments are happening right now that won't be declassified for another 50 years? The vault is never empty. It just takes time to unlock. If this interests you, there are more files to open. Subscribe to see what else they tried to hide. Until next time.